Good morning and greetings from Osaka, Japan. Um, my name is Shingo HAMADA. I'm the Associate Professor of Food Studies at Osaka Shoin Women's University. It's my honor and pleasure to participate in this event as a webinar presenter this year. The title of my talk is When the Beginnings Meets the End, Food, Culture, and Food Taste and Culture of Osaka. Well, but first of all, I want to apologize for this pre-recorded webinar. I really wish I could give a talk live, but actually me and my family expecting the arrival of new family member this week in a few moments. So I figured it is better and safe that I record this talk in advance to make sure that this presentation gets delivered to you as scheduled. But if you have any questions, comment, or want to reach me for further interviews, please do not hesitate to contact me via email. So I put my email address on the slide. So as I believe this is one of the first webinars in this event, the virtual event, virtual meeting event this year, let me take you to the quick virtual Osaka tour with city's basic information and a layer of geographic maps. Osaka Prefecture is located in a bit west of the center of Honshu, Japan's main island. Today, Osaka is the capital city of Osaka Prefecture and the second largest metropolitan area of Japan. It is also the 10th largest urban area in the world, with more than 19 million people living in the area. So this is the cityscapes of Osaka looks like. It's kind of major, big cities. While Osaka is the second largest cities, and Tokyo is the largest city and the capital of the nation of Japan, Osaka is known as the food capital of Japan. The influence of Osakan food history and culture does not stay locally in Osaka, and actually it can be felt and touched globally. For example, sushi. In 1958, Genroku Sushi, a local sushi restaurant in eastern Osaka, opened the world's first kaiten sushi, or sushi go-round, which serves sushi and other food using belt conveyor. Genroku Sushi contributed to the democratization and internationalization of sushi in Japan and the world in the time when sushi was still very expensive and served only at high-end restaurants. Genroku Sushi actually still runs a business at the same location and the other locations in Japan. Another important food innovation that has influenced the people and the foodway in the world is the invention of instant noodle. It was also invented in Ikeda City, located in northwest Osaka, in 1958, the same year as Sushi Go Round by Genroku Sushi. And also let me note that the instant noodles were introduced to Colombia in 2010 by Nissin Food of Japan. And according to the Wikipedia, in the 2013, Nissin Food opened its commercial office in Bogota. So some of you, watching this video, might have eaten instant noodle, or some of you might be working for, the Nissin noodle in Bogota. But my today's talk is not about those food-related technological innovations originated in Osaka. Instead, my presentation today will overview the environment, history, and culture that shapes the taste of Osaka, and more broadly, Osakan business ethos and hospitality. So here's a menu that I offer in today's webinar. First, I will show you historical and contemporary Osakan geographic and topographic maps to make a foundation of our understanding of why Osaka historically came to be known as Nation's Kitchen. Second, I will choose couple cuisine, especially counter-couple cooking style and the serving style, to explain the characteristics of Osakan food culture. In this section, I will introduce you to the three key cultural concepts or elements: multisensory taste, Kriyaji, which is related to diversity and hospitality, and Shimatsu, which gives us a lot of idea about sustainability today. By explaining what counter-couple is all about, I hope to show you Osakan people's ethos and hospitality, which I really hope that you can experience here in Osaka in the near future. So let me start with the geography of Osaka and the history. Japanese call and explain Osaka with many different expressions, one of which is the city of water, or water city. In Japanese, Mizu no Miyako, or Suito Osaka. Like Chicago in Illinois State in the United States, geographic location close to the water greatly contributed to the development of Osaka area. As you can see in this image, Osaka is surrounded by mountains in the north, east, and south, and the west side open to the Osaka Bay to the Seto Inlet Sea. The center of Osaka is geographically called the Osaka Plain, most of which is called the Kawachi Plain. The Kawachi Plain is alluvial plain made by the big Yodo and the old Yamato rivers. The water source of Yodo River is Lake Biwa, the biggest lake in Japan. Tributaries of Yodo River split and march through the plain and make its way out to the sea in the end. And when we look at the topographic map of Osaka, it is clear that much part of Osaka was quite low altitude. And actually, much part of what Osaka is today used to be a part of sea in the past. And the Osakan food culture really cannot be understood without knowing its proximity to the sea and the relationship with the water. For example, a study using the radiocarbon dating method suggests how the coastal line of Osaka changed over a long period of time. So the image that I'm showing you in the slide now is the coastal line back in the 7,000 to 6,000 years ago. And this coastal line changed in the next 1,000 years to like this. So this is the coastal line in about 5,000 to 4,000 years ago. And at the prehistoric Morinomiya site dating back 5,000 years ago, archaeologists found more than 30 kinds of shellfish, 18 kinds of fish species, and 17 kinds of vertebrates, including whale bones. For fish, black sea breams were the most abundant in this archaeological site. But other fish, such as sea bass, congers, pufferfish, and the red sea breams, madai in Japanese, were also found. And all of those fish are still major sea product in Osaka seafood market today. So the coastal line changed like this, like 3,000 to 2,000 years ago. And about 1,800 to 1,600 years ago. And what Osaka, the sea line is like this today. So how Osaka came to be known as Nation's Kitchen, the Tenka no Daidokoro in Japanese. So while, the proximity to the water is, the reason of why Osaka is called the city of water, the geographic and the political factors greatly contributed to the development of Osakan food culture, and it rolled as the center of national food market. Osaka was the castle town under the direct supervision of the shogunate in the Edo period. And also the Osaka developed its national food market because of the good location with the waterway traffic. The center of the commodity distribution in Osaka had been the Dojima rice market, the Tenma vegetable market, and the Koba fish market, which I explain in a moment. In the late 17th century, the trading route using the Sea of Japan developed with the introduction of Kitamae-bune, which means North Face or North Shore ship service. It opened the westward shipping passage that passes into the Sea of Japan through the Shimonoseki Strait, if you are familiar with Japanese geography, and then go through the Seto Inlet Sea toward Osaka. The characteristics of Kitamae-bune business was that the ship never emptied its cargo space. It was like a mobile department store. Kitamae-bune traveled for up north to Ezo, today's Hokkaido. They purchased dried herring, dried kelp, and other products in Ezo. All of those products was not available in mainland Japan back then. Kitamae-bune traders purchased and gathered regional specialties as they traveled along the Sea of Japan. When they arrived Osaka area after navigating from the Sea of Japan to the Seto Inlet Sea, the cargo space was filled with a variety of regional special products. As a result, by the end of the 17th century, Osaka had become the place where the food ingredient, fine good ingredient and products were gathered from all over Japan. The development of the marine transport between Osaka and Edo also contributed to the development of Osaka, giving Osaka the pivotal position of the national market. Osaka was geographically a preferable location as it is situated about the center of Japan. So during the Edo period, the city of Osaka was also designed to deal with the heavy traffic of commercial items utilizing waterways. As you can see in this historical urban maps, you can see a lot of water pathways throughout the city. So soon, in the Edo period, many clans or feudal domains in the Edo shogunate Japan built their kurayashiki, which means a combined residence and warehouse in Osaka, in order to participate in regional and national economy. During the Edo period, the Japanese political system is based on the organization of clan or feudal domains with the Tokugawa shogunate on the top. Each clan managed themselves based on self-sufficiency. So samurai collected the compulsory annual rice tribute from their farmers. And the lord of each clan secured the rice for their own consumption. And also they sold extra rice and their other local and regional specialties to buy commodity and to gain some cash. Osaka was the ideal location for them to trade and gain cash at its great accessibility with waterway traffic. Rice was the major trading commodity in the Edo period, and rice was auctioned and sold to the middleman at the domain's storehouse, Kurayashiki, and the middleman traded those rice at the Dojima rice market. So this is the image of the Dojima rice market. So this the concentration of the Kurayashiki in Osaka area really played an important role in making Osaka as the center of the national market, and also the advancement of the currency economy in the pre-modern Japan. Especially rice, which lord of the clan brought to Osaka, was gathered and dealt in Osaka in the great quantity. So the rice market in Osaka became the place to set the standard nationwide market prices in pre-modern and the modern period of Japan. Prior to the opening of the Dojima rice market in 1697, the Tenma vegetable market was established in 1653, and also the Zakoba fish market was established since the 1618, so the early 17th century. The place later called as the Zakoba fish market was Japan's largest fish market in the Edo period, dealing in salted fish, dried fish, and katsuobushi, which is the dried bonito, essential for making the Japanese dashi broth, and the fish meal fertilizers. The place name Zakoba means a place where various marine products gathered. In the mid-17th century, they started dealing fresh fish, making itself the Japan's first wholesale market to deal in fresh fish. In addition to the Dojima, the Tenma, and the Zakoba fish market, in the early 18th century, other markets were established, and the local farmers also brought and sold their products by themselves, which was like today's farmers market. One of those private market was the Kizu market, which is still open to the public today. So if you have a chance to visit Osaka, I really recommend you to visit the Kizu wholesale market, which is very exciting. You can see the variety of sea product, vegetable product available in Japan. And also in the early 20th century, modern Japan, Dojima, the Tenma, and the Zakoba markets were integrated, and the Osaka Central Wholesale Market was established in 1921. But in addition to the nationally managed market like the Osaka Central Wholesale Market, private markets were also established, one of which is the Chromo Market, which has its origin back to the 1822 to 1823. But now the Chromo market is the one of the most popular tourist destinations in Japan today. So now with the slide, I show you some historical image of the Dojima rice market, the Zakoba fish market, and right now the image of a Dotonbori area, the part of the Osaka city. So the Dotonbori area looks like this, back in the Edo period. And the Dotonbori area looks like this today. So the landscape, the urban scape changed dramatically, of course, over time. But still, you can see the presence of waterway. So that's very, if you have a chance to visit Osaka in the near future, I really hope to look at where the water is located. And just remember the Osakan history, the relationship with the water. So now let me shift from the historical period to the modern period, modern period of Osaka, and the more, talk about the food. The development of food market and Osaka as the commercial center of Japan led to the development of food industry, of course, including diner and the restaurant and all the other hospitality industries. Merchant in Osaka used the restaurant for inviting and entertaining the business partners and discussing their business matters over drinking and eating. So they also used a catering service for better food to entertain the business partners. But soon, as I explain in a moment, the counter couple became an epitome of Osakan food and merchant culture and hospitality. The couple cuisine I explain here is a genre of food that people usually enjoy at a restaurant rather than their home. But the couple cuisine is, I argue, also the genre of cuisine that Osaka's historical merchant culture and ethos and Osakan environment co-created in the modern period of Japan. So the reason of Osaka being called as the nation's kitchen or the food capital of Japan today is the diverse food availability. Locally caught fresh fish, locally harvested vegetables, together with regional specialties brought to Osaka, contributed to the development of rich food culture in Osaka area. Regional specialties include a kombu kelp, which is a kind of seaweed and indispensable ingredient for Japanese cuisine to make dashi broth. And the best quality of dried kelp were brought from Hokkaido by Kitamae-bune trading route. So were the dried bonito katsuobushi from Tosa, today's Kochi prefecture in Shikoku region, and soy sauce from the inland Tatsuno in today's Hyogo prefecture. So Osaka really brought a lot of the best food ingredient from all over Japan. And Osaka also brewed the fine quality Japanese sake in the Osaka plain. And among the fine food ingredients being gathered in Osaka, seafood from Osakan Bay and the Seto Inlet Sea deserved special mention. In the Edo period, when the Zakoba fish market developed, the local fisher in Osaka caught fish in the evening, and they brought their catch over to the wholesaler at the Zakoba fish market during the midnight before the break of dawn. In a few hours or so, the fresh fish was bid and auctioned in the morning, in the very same day. And the fish was purchased in the daytime and cooked and served at the dining tables in the evening. During this approximately 13 to 14 hours of the travel of the fish from the Zakoba market to the dining table, the umami, a savory flavor and the taste of fish was enhanced, and the texture of fish became nicely solid or chewy. So this high quality and the food distribution system of local whitefish, especially the whitefish, made the part of the foundation of Osakan food culture in today and in history as well. And lastly, like many other regions of Japan, Osakan food culture utilized dashi broth. And dashi is a broth usually made from kombu kelp and dried fish, including katsuobushi, dried bonito, and often with vegetables such as shiitake mushroom. The utilization of dashi were partially attributed to the Japanese geological factors. In a place like Europe, where the water is hard, which means rich in calcium and magnesium, like like a mineral water, like Evian. People can, make the food broth from animal source and enjoy meat dish. However, when water is soft, which means the water does not much calcium and magnesium in it, it is difficult to make a good broth from animal product. Because the Japanese water tend to be soft, Japanese developed the broth making technique using sea product rather than animal product. And as Osaka water is a bit further softer than water in Tokyo in eastern Japan, Osaka foods tend to use more kombu kelp dashi broth, while Tokyo food tend to use more soy sauce. So if you come to Japan, and have a chance to visit both Tokyo and Osaka, you can see the color of dashi soup is different between those two regions, even in the same countries, because of those, historical and geological factors. So, what is Kappo cuisine really? Oops. In general, Kappo in Japanese word means a cooking style. In the two characters of Kappo, katsu means cut and po means boil and stew. In Osaka, Kappo consists of cutting and slicing and serving fresh fish from the Seto Inlet Sea, and cooking and serving warm dishes using vegetables from the Osaka plain. But actually, the Kappo cuisine means more than those cooking method or characters. Kappo is a genre of cuisine that include a way of serving and hospitality. The highlight and the most developed form of Kappo is itamae Kappo, or counter Kappo. The counter Kappo is a restaurant which chef cooked and served in front of customers, and the customer is sitting on the counter, the stool, or the chairs. And the counter Kappo restaurant tend to be small in space, keeping the distance between chef and the guest very close. While the quality of food is considered as best as high-end realty Japanese restaurant, where the most food is cooked and delivered from the kitchen behind the dining scene. The Kappo cuisine is not just food. It needs to be more reasonable, which means more inexpensive, frankly, and its service more faster and efficient than high-end restaurant. And of course, the taste needs to be as superb as high-end restaurants. So these conditions are all because the merchant, Osaka merchant in the food market, used the Kappo restaurant for entertaining their business guests and partners. Professional chefs in Kappo restaurant need to make sure to not only serve the good quality of food, but also providing the hospitality and entertainment, which a guest feels something special with and through food experience in Osaka. The reasonableness of a Kappo cuisine needs further explanation, and this is the reason why Kappo restaurant developed and became popular with the counter serving style. Many Kappo restaurants design their cooking and serving space for providing consumer with multi-sensory the food experience. For example, counter seat where customers sit and eat was set higher than the kitchen over the counter, so the consumers can take a look at what's going on in the kitchen. The guests can look at not only the freshness of the ingredient, but also the culinary techniques that the professional chefs show and use to transform the fresh ingredient into the food. And in the process, the guests can entertain themselves with the transformation with the food visually, olfactory, and finally taste the food with their tongue in the mouth. So therefore, being reasonable in the couple cuisine does not just mean the price that the consumer, the guests pay. The couple cuisine is reasonable because the guests can enrich their food experience and food, that they taste food with multiple senses. Oops. So this is a picture that I took when I went to the couple cuisine restaurant like 3 years ago. So, you can see the chef searing the skin of the Red Sea bream in front of me. And I can see the fire. I can smell the fish skin, being, burned or grilled. And the fish was served as a sashimi, which was very, very tasty. So in the last few slides, I want to explain further a couple of culture concepts that help us better understand and appreciate the traditional and the classic Osakan food cultures. First is shimatsu. Shimatsu literally means the beginning meets the end. The shimatsu concept is related to the history of the social custom among Osaka merchants. Eating together is an act of building and confirming social relationships in many cultures. And this applies to Osaka merchant culture as well. Sorry. Historically, a business contract in Osaka used to be made orally, not on the paper. Asking the signature on the contract paper or asking for the deposit prior to the actual start of the business could mean that you are actually not trusting your business partners. Not all business contracts were probably done this way, but what's important in business is rapport or trustful relationship. Thus, the Osaka merchant values orally promised business contract based on mutual trust. So when a deal is made orally rather than on the paper, they go to a food place such as couple restaurant together, and they eat and share food and drink together, and confirming their social bond. So when the merchant say shimatsu ga ii, that means their business, which is made on the oral deal, has been accomplished as promised. If the business deal makes sense, or if a series of business deals are consistently made and kept, that means shimatsu ga ii. The deal promised in the beginning was kept as promised in the end. And this shimatsu concept also applies to food practice and food ways in Osaka. In culinary context, shimatsu ga ii means making the best use of ingredient without loss. Oops. So if you buy a whole fish, you try to use every part of the fish. An example of the secondary dashi broth made from the fish bones. After fish is cleaned and the fish meat is sliced for sashimi or cut for grill or fry, the fish bone is left on the cutting board. Though we may not be able to eat the fish bone itself, we still could use it to make a nice broth. So while the first dashi used the kombu kelp mainly, the secondary dashi broth that the couple chef cook, is made from the slow cooking of the fish bone, extracting fish umami and oceanic flavor for utilizing and actually, appreciating the sacrifice of the fish as living being. So shimatsu means, more than like no food waste. It is a kind of wise use of food and money indeed. So, for example, the chef in Osaka couple cuisine, pay attention to the shimatsu when purchasing the food ingredients that they use at their restaurant. Some ingredients, such as sea bream, tai, might be expensive, but if the quality of fish is very good, and if chef can think of multiple use of the fish or whole fish that they bought, they do not mind paying a high price for the fish. And this things apply to the eel head as well. The eel head is called hansuke in Osakan food culture. Eels are traditional and one of the favorite food in Osaka and in Japan. One of the most popular way to enjoy eels in Osaka is kabayaki, a seasoned and grilled eels. Eels are dipped in umami-rich seasoning sauce in advance and grilled over the direct charcoal heat. Eel heads are uncut and they are seasoned and grilled together with the meat part. And the eel head is very bony and does not have much meat to eat for us. So the eel head is often thrown away in the cooking process outside Osaka. However, the eel head still has the same seasoning taste as the meat part, even though it is hard to eat. Eel head still could bring the rich flavor to the other food and dishes. Thus, the grilled eel heads are used on the topping of the udon noodle, for example. The flavor of eels and the dipping sauce are infused into this hot soup and enriching the taste of the other food. So therefore, the value of food or the worth of the price, we paid in the beginning at the supermarket or wholesale market really depend on how much we or the chef can utilize the ingredient in the end. If the expensive food ingredients are made the best and the most used for entertaining your family or guests in the restaurant, that shimatsu ga ii, good beginning, meets the good end. So the shimatsu is, I think, a kind of a symbol of Osakan food and work ethics, because it also gives us some idea of sustainability and a wise use of food resource and appreciation to the other living beings sacrifice themselves for us, the humans, because the shimatsu ga ii is a practice of making the best use of the food ingredient. And another key concept to understand the characteristics of Osakan food culture is Kriyaji, which literally means a taste at the mouth. This is a term and a concept symbolizing the respect of the diversity among the Osakan people and cultures. Osaka has been a metropolitan city for a long time, as I explained in this presentation today. So the people and food ingredient came and continue to come to Osaka from all over Japan. That also means the chef in Osaka need to make effort to satisfy guests with diverse culinary background and food preference. Therefore, professional chefs in Osaka developed and elaborated knowledge, skills, and ethos for diverse guests. They came to cook and season food according to the consumer's taste preference. So couple cuisine tend to have a fine balance of taste. The chef tries to make and serve food not too light, not too rich, not too salty, or not too sweet. And the chef let the customer decide what the best taste, rather than chef deciding in their kitchen by themselves. Because everyone has a different tastes and a different food preferences, with a different personal food memory and history. So therefore, Kriyaji, the taste at the mouth, is more than a taste. It symbolized Osaka's culinary hospitality, which aimed to satisfy as many and diverse customers as possible by providing the best food according to the consumer's preference, which chef could understand through the conversation over counter. And today's talk mainly discussed the high-end, not so cheap couple cuisine, but you still could experience and enjoy the essence of multi-sensory tastefulness of Osaka hospitality with street food, actually. For example, takoyaki, literally translated as grilled octopus or octopus ball, is a round-shaped flour cake with diced octopus, dashi broth, and other ingredients. Like the many festival food in many places in the world, most takoyaki are street food. They were cooked over the counter in front of you. And while you are waiting, you can enjoy the smell and sound of takoyaki being made or being grilled on a specially designed takoyaki grill plate. And once takoyaki is ready, you will enjoy seeing flaked dried bonito dancing over the takoyaki that was just being off the grill and handed over to you, which is tasty smell of dried bonito, seaweed, and the shop's original umami-dense dark sauce. But you can, of course, talk to the takoyaki chef and opt out of default topping according to your food preference. So if you don't like fish or if you don't like bonito, the dry bonito, you can say, no bonito, no dry bonito, please. So that will be fine. And also, if you have gone to sushi goran restaurant, you might be able to understand what I have talked today. How Osakan people developed the multi-sensory tasteful food culture. The sushi plates keep moving on the belt conveyor as a new and interest sushi approaches to you. You soon enjoy talking with your friends or family whether you should pick it up from the conveyor belt. You first visually enjoy sushi on the move, enjoy conversation and picking the sushi off the belt, and finally, you enjoy the taste of the marriage of the rice and fish in one bite. And I cannot forget the colorful sushi gives you a good kind of Instagrammable moment, in today's world. So reasonableness with a multi-sensory tasting, quick service, and the enjoyment of the food treasure from the land of the sea in one bite. So you can understand why kaiten sushi or sushi goran restaurant, which was invented in Osaka, became popular in the world now. So in conclusion, to wrapping up, in this presentation, I quickly overview the geography and the history and food culture of Osaka with special reference to the counter couple cuisine. The main point of my today's talk is the importance of food culture. Osakan food culture shows food is not just food that we physically eat to sustain ourselves and our lives. The close look of food culture shows how food can help us understand and appreciate the diversity and the sustainability practice in the past, present, and the future. Both diversity and sustainability are the key elements, the key concept, and what all of us need to remind ourselves, pay attention, and appreciate, support, and practice by ourselves. And of course, Osakan food shows the food is something we can enjoy with others. You may not be familiar with Japanese food, especially seafood, if you are living in Bogota. But I believe you agree that food is more than something you just eat. The food is something you enjoy, something you can share with your family, old and new friends, whether you are in Bogota or in Osaka. So, in conclusion, I hope this presentation has given you some ideas of what Osaka is, what Osakan food is, and what you could expect and enjoy if you have a chance to visit Osaka in the near future. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the event. Gracias.